So welcome to Coelho's office. Again, talking about vampires. Today we're going to talk about the myth itself. The myth of vampire is all over the world and deals with some important issues. The first is immortality that we talked in the previous podcast. If you lost, you can go up there in the blog and see the tab podcast and see the podcast. The second one, it is about energy. Vampires are always sucking energy, and victims are always giving energy. This is a very important metaphor because we are used to believe that we don't behave like vampires, and eventually we may behave like victims because it's so good to give, so good to give, to share. We feel less guilty if you only give and not take. This is totally wrong. At the end of the day, you must give and receive energy. This is how the world works. The earth, the soil is giving energy to the tree, and then one day the tree is going to give this energy back to the soil. The same thing happens with water and clouds. So this energy has to circulate freely. There is nothing wrong in receiving energy. There is nothing wrong in giving energy, providing that you balance them. One of the classic historical origins of the myth of the vampire here in the Western civilization. Well, there are two main origins. The first one, it was unknown diseases. For example, cancer. People used to see somehow his beloved one dying slowly of cancer. Today we know that it is cancer, and they did not understand, but they should give an explanation. And the explanation was, of course, someone is draining the energy of this person. We have to fight against it. The other origin is during the Black Plague, people used to be thrown into this body in cemeteries before being dead, because they had this bubonic plague, and all of a sudden they were not dead. They used to wake up. They used to walk, and they would walk to the city. And then people said, oh, this thing resurrected from the dead. What they used to do, they used to put a stake through the heart of the poor human being that was there trying to, asking for help. But as I said before, this energy needs to circulate freely. If it does not, one of the parties is either a vampire or a victim. And we're neither vampire nor victims. We are human beings. I'm giving you my energy in this podcast, for example, but I'm receiving a lot also from you. So what is wrong with this? Don't be greedy, and don't be like a martyr that's always trying just to give. This is also a little bit sick. Accept the law of nature. Accept that there is a cycle. You have to respect this cycle. There are moments, time to give, and there are time to receive. Ciao. Call me back. I see you next week.